G'day, welcome to part 2. I'm going to pick up straight where I left off from yesterday. So yesterday I started drawing the map for Maikaden. Now so far a lot of it's been copy and paste with like this section down in the corner. Okay, so that's my reference layer. So if they come around there more, there's a lake in here, and this is forest. A lot of map making is just sitting here and staring at it in case you hadn't noticed. So delete that. Better now, I can see what I'm tracing. The annoying thing with this pen is it all depends on the pressure that you press on it. One measly percent can really impact an image. Looks like it's 12%. Now I'm in the layer. I still think that's not right. She'll be right, mate. folks. If anyone's actually watching, feel free to chat to me in the chat. Give me someone to talk to. Keep me company. That plug the hole, so to speak. Voila, there we go. Gonna fix up this part of the river. It's looking a bit manky. I couldn't imagine a real river looking like that. I drew a lot of inspiration for these rivers from the Murray River in Australia. It's one of our main rivers, and that bad boy stretches all the way from South Australia to almost the tip of Victoria, between Victoria and New South Wales. It's a beautiful river too. When I was a kid, we used to, I can't remember if we lived there at that point or just visited, but we'd go to Mildura at least and see family up there, and of course we'd go camping down the river. One year we spent Christmas there, and extended family all came to see us. It was beautiful. Fishing for most of the day, playing in the bush. I miss those days a lot. It's funny when I say fishing, sometimes we'd catch like a red belly or something, but mostly all you'd get in that place is carp. It's an introduced European species, and it just takes over our natural waterways. I'm not sure if it still exists or not, but at the time there was a law that if you catch a carp you're not allowed to re-release them, so you'd have to kill them. They're that bad of an invasive species. I tried cooking one once. It was disgusting. Generally they're a filthy fish, you don't eat them, but me being an inquisitive child and wanting to learn the hard way, I used to do silly shit like that. So yeah, they don't taste good. I'm just redrawing these rivers because I used a smaller pen and they're on a different layer. I'm going to transfer them to their own layer again just so I can refine them without stuffing up the surrounds, like the coastline and stuff. One of the really cool things about the Murray River is it's got a lock system because it's so long. Boats travelling up and down the landscape is in like different heights. So because parts of it are dried up and whatnot, they use locks to raise the boats to like the next level, and well, that's how I understand it anyway. It's pretty cool. I've been to a couple of the locks. It's so cool to see the boats being lifted up. It's a bit better. Can't believe how much easier it's become to do this on the iPad. Like, I have spent literally like hundreds of hours hand drawing all my maps. Like, one mistake and I can't print it. I did learn, well, I wouldn't even say learn. I suck at Photoshop, so I would hand draw my maps for hours on end, perfect for the books, and then I'd scan it into paint, normal paint, and sit there pixel by pixel touching it up. This is just like, it's brought a whole new level to my map work. Like, my maps actually almost look good now. And then I stuff it up. See, I wouldn't have been able to undo that if it was hand drawn. I just have to live with it and torment my OCD. I think I might just touch that up with the pen now. Can't remember. 5%. Isn't it amazing how the thickness of one line can make it look so much better? I'll fix up that little bit. Let's go back to my fine tip and just gently edge it. Looks a bit smoother, and I'll just gently shave this one down too. There are a few things I plan to fix up offline. Not going to bore everyone with. I try and keep these lines a little bit rougher, because if you picture the sea and the waves, this is like, yeah, a bit more rougher as you go out. Where are we going? Woohoo! I've got my coastline. Even though I call myself a fantasy reader and I write fantasy, I haven't read a lot. When I was a kid, I got so hooked on David Eddings. I just read like the Bulgariad from front to back over and over again. Like I'd finish reading it and then I'd go and read it again. It was crazy times. That looks darker than that. I have never read Lord of the Rings. I don't plan to. I was forced to watch the movie. I just didn't enjoy it. But I used to get frustrated as a kid every time I'd say, like, people would ask me, what are you reading? And I'd show them. They're like, oh, have you read Lord of the Rings? It's like, no. Just because I read one book, it doesn't mean I'm going to read that as well. Like, yeah, it might be an absolute mastermind of a book, but it's just not my cup of tea. I think I was in year 8. I had a teacher, Miss Peckham. She's no longer with us, sadly. She knew I loved reading. She was a teacher. I think I had her for English as well, but she was mostly like woodwork and the crafty type classes. She was awesome. Anyway, she knew I loved reading, so she lent me this book, and I can't remember the name. I did find it, but it's where every so often someone is born. It's like they're not born, that they're destined to be the bride of the moon. And this character, like, she was in the middle of the supermarket and in the grocery section. All of a sudden, she gets a mind-blowing big O, and just randomly from the moon. It was really weird. And then she had to move to this place where she could be the bride or something. It was so weird. And like I didn't understand a lot of it back then, but now I've read reviews and stuff on it. It's like, why was my teacher getting me to read a book about orgasms and weird shit like that? I know nothing untoward was behind it, but it's like, this is weird shit. I love me David Eddings. I did try reading it a couple of years ago and I couldn't get into it. It's like my taste has changed, which I was a bit disappointed. Maybe it's my brain telling me it's time to move on. Okay, I'm happy with my progress now. I'll touch up the rivers a bit. Still another one which I should flatten. There we go. I think that's a good place to stop for today. So stay safe, take care everyone. If you haven't already, please do follow my Twitch. I'm most active on Twitter, Facebook, and I occasionally upload a video to YouTube. I also have Patreon, but I'm not going to be one of those people pushing it. At the moment there's not much content, but the $1.50 a month tier, you do get a lot of juicy benefits, so I'm not going to push that yet. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.